Mark McGwire, the Padres bench coach. He joins us now. Mark, how are you this morning?
Dan, good. How are you doing?
Do you
Long time no talk.
Do you still have the toga from the cover, that photo shoot with Sammy?
I don't think so, no. I think they kept it. It was a wardrobe thing, so they kept it, I think. Yeah.
If I walked into your house, would I be able to tell what you did for a living?
Yeah, my office, sure, yeah. Yeah. It's, when I built this house 10-plus years ago, prior to building this house, if you walked in my house, you wouldn't even know I was a baseball player because I had no memorabilia whatsoever. But my wife talked me into taking the stuff out of storage and put it up in the office, so when people come over, they can see what you did. So, yeah, there's stuff in my office. Yeah, you know what I did throughout my career.
Why didn't you have anything up before?
I was never a fan of trophies. I mean, you can go back to ask my parents back when I was a young kid, starting soccer at 7 years old and getting trophies and stuff. And I just never was a fan of that. I just loved playing games of whatever sport we played at that given time. And you know, soccer was first, and then they went on to baseball and basketball and golf. Loved golf. I won a high school tournament in golf as a sophomore. I quit baseball as a sophomore in high school to play on the golf team. So, it's just I wasn't a fan of having it up in my room, and it was just something like that. When I got older and started getting these awards, I just kept them in storage, and sure enough, my wife talked me out of putting it in the house. So.
But did you love baseball, or you were just good at it and continued to play it? Because you said you quit in high school.
No, it wasn't my first sport that I loved. No. I think probably golf was my first sport. Yeah, definitely. My dad had us playing golf at 5, but the first team sports we played were soccer at 7. I played baseball. Yeah, I was good at it. My first love in baseball was being a pitcher. I mean, that's all I wanted to do was pitch. I mean, I hit home runs. I mean, shoot, my first at bat in the Little Leaguer was a home run. So I loved all these other sports. I think today's kids are getting so trapped into playing one sport, it's actually hurting them. I think the better athlete you are, the more sports you play, seasonal sports. Right now it's getting to basketball. I think kids should start playing basketball instead of playing year-round baseball.
We're losing you a little bit there. The phone was starting to break up a little bit. Talking to Mark McGwire. Chris Weber will join us coming up. Paulie, just have Mark call back?
Yeah, he's going to call right back. His line just dropped.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know if there was a bigger reason for him not having his memorabilia there, and then his wife saying you should have it up there. But one of the reasons why we want to have Mark on is he's getting another shot at the Hall of Fame. There's something called today's game era ballot. And the ballot's part of the changes to the election process announced by the Hall of Fame back in July. It includes 5 players, 3 executives, and 2 managers who made their biggest impact from 1988 on. Harold Baines, Albert Bell, Will Clark, Lou Piniella, John Sherholtz, the Braves GM. So those are the 2017 candidates. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have Mark on the program. What's the best piece of memorabilia you have? What would surprise me?
Shoot. Oh, surprise. Oh, my gosh. My Pope picture meeting John Paul II. We got a picture with him, and he gave me this. It was just. I got to meet him in the winter of '98 in St. Louis, and flew back there. And he was really good friends with the head of the Archdiocese in St. Louis.
Did he know about the home run chase?
He was a great baseball fan. When I met him, he was speaking his language, and he said a few things to me. And you bow and you kiss his hand, and the picture I have in my house is me kissing his hand. And my gosh, it was the cleanest, most whitest hands I've ever seen in my life. It was like, I was in awe, like most people would be if you got a chance to meet the Pope. So, he said a few things to me, and I said, obviously in English, and I said, it's a great presence to be in front of you, and thank you for meeting me. about 3-4 years later, I ran into the head of the Archdiocese in St. Louis, and he goes, "Do you remember me?" I said, "Yes, absolutely." And he says, "Do you remember what the Pope said to you?" And I said, "No, I didn't understand what he said to me. He asked me how my son Matt was doing."
Oh, wow.
And it was like, I was totally blown away. I was like, wow, that's really cool. So he was totally paying attention to the home run race. So, yeah, I think that's something that, I hang very proudly in my house, yes.
He's Mark McGwire, the Padres bench coach, and he's on this new ballot. It's called Today's Game Era Ballot. Do you understand this new ballot that they they came up with back in July for the Hall of Fame?
Do I understand it? A little bit, yeah. I mean, I'm totally honored. I mean, last year being my 10th year and final year to be on the ballot for the writers, I'm absolutely thrilled that I get another opportunity to maybe get a chance to get in the Hall of Fame. And I know there's 16 people to get in a room, and they vote, and you have to come out of there with 12 or more votes to become a Hall of Famer. I know there's a great list of players, front office people, along with Bud Selig, that have been instrumental in this beautiful game of baseball. So we'll find out someday soon, real soon.
Would you vote for you?
You asked me this question a long time ago. Was it 4 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And sort of caught me off guard. And I sit back and I realized if you look what I've done in the game, I totally understand why I'm not in the Hall of Fame right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at the pure numbers and what I've done, yes, my numbers are Hall of Fame worthy, yes.
But are we getting closer to that part of the game, Mark, though, where there is forgiveness, understanding, and putting everybody in together and then matching your stats with contemporaries?
Well, it's a little tough because the way they're looking at stats today is totally different than what they were looking at stats, 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
There's the sabermetric stuff they're looking at now. If you look at pure stats and what I've done in the game, the rookie record at 49, the fewest at bats to get to 500 home runs in the history of the game. The one that I love is, 10 at bats, I hit a home run, and that's a first in all of baseball, the history of baseball. And then, on base percentage just under 400. My OPS was just under 1,000 for career. I've done a lot of things in this game. What I did in '98, what I did for after the '94 season, and still to this day, people stop me on the street and say that you're the reason why I watch baseball. It's because what happened, the strike in '94 and carried on into the '95 season. People didn't like baseball at all. And thank God they came up with an agreement yesterday. But yeah, my numbers are Hall of Fame worthy. But I totally understand what's going on, and I'm not naive about it. But we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, that's where I'm just not sure how everybody's going to be judged, and I don't know how the voters are going to judge. And if you can put everybody in under this big umbrella and say, I'm going to judge you guys separately. With your era. I mean, it's hard to do.
Well, yeah, you're right, and that's the era. I mean, everybody knows that's the era. So it's a tough task. I mean, I don't envy these writers at all, but that's what went on during that part of the era, and I think everybody knows it. And let's just move on and. If it happens and, the tide turns and something happens, and so be it. But I think, we all, this great country of ours and this game is very forgiving. And, so we just take it at that.
Yeah. Because Bonds, Clemens, they're guys on the outside looking in that I think that we're moving closer towards a little bit more understanding of it. I
hope so.
I guess. I don't know.
So.
I mean, that's just the feeling that I have.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. I agree with you. I agree with you at that point. Yeah, definitely.
Give me the pitcher you'd like to take a couple of Waxent. Current pitcher right now that you just like to say. Let me just sit dead red. It's 1998, Mark McGwire, and you're facing who?
Dead red?
Yeah.
Oh, let me see. Yeah, Syndergaard he'd be great to face. It'd be such a great challenge.
well, you faced Randy Johnson.
Yeah, Randy Johnson. Yeah, definitely. But here's the thing: is we didn't have radar guns. There wasn't. You didn't look up after every pitch and go, "How hard is this guy throwing?" You trusted your eyes, and your eyes. Your eyes told you it was coming pretty hard. I'd love to face Kershaw.
Oh, you would?
Oh yeah, I'd love to face him. Yeah, I tell him, when I was coaching there for 3 years, I love him to death, and he's such a stud. I'll tell you what a stud he is. And I used to tell him, I said, don't ever throw that curveball to me. I'm gonna hit that out of the ballpark because I tell you, I love curveballs, and I would pick that little hump that come out of that hand, and so yeah, but I think his nastiest pitch, obviously, is his slider. So his slider.
Yeah, you're gonna lay off that. You're gonna lay off that.
Well, I try to. Yeah, I try to. Yeah, I totally understand. But there's so many just unbelievable pitchers in the game today that just throw so hard. It's just, the thing is though, it's just the harder they throw, the softer you have to be. And what I see is, as a coach is, the harder they throw, guys are swinging harder.
Yeah.
It's the opposite way. And, but it just amazes me how all of a sudden you got kids that are just throwing 100 miles an hour. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand. And I don't think anybody understands how that's happening, but it is. And, these kids there are training their eyes, and facing 100 miles an hour is nothing anymore.
Well, I know the voting is December 5th. For another chance at the Hall of Fame. So good luck with that. And it's great to hear there's joy in your voice, because I know it wasn't there not too long ago, but it's there.
Listen. Yeah, listen, I'm 53 years old, if you can believe that. It's just, we all have to move on. We all understand what's gone on, and I love life. I love my family. I love my job, what I do, sitting next to Andy Green and learning from him, and it's like sitting next to Tony La Russa. And I love my position down in San Diego, and you know what? I love life. I love my kids. It's just like watching them, like 14 and 12-year-old boys, and my 6-year-old triplet girls are just my beautiful wife. I couldn't be any happier.
Well, good luck with the vote, and it's not the end of the world, I know it, but at least getting another opportunity. Yeah. And great to talk to you again, Mark.
Yeah, until next time.
All right, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. That's Mark McGwire.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.